Today we'll be starting with current affairs from Insight magazine for the month of May 2023. I assume we all are preparing for CSE 2024. By that logic, we have 331 days left for prelims and around 448 days left for mains. So let's start with current affairs. I'll be covering part wise, like first I'll take GS1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. And then finally, I'll take prelims focused current affairs for all GS combined. So let's start with it. Today we'll be seeing mains part for GS1. First, we start with modern Indian history. We come across Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. We are celebrating 162nd birth anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore ji. And he was a Bengali poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter. He also started Vishwa Bharati University, known as Shantiniketan. He contributed to freedom struggle. He viewed British rule as a symptom of overall sickness and social disease of the public. He wrote the song Banglar Mati Banglar Jod, Soil of Bengal, Water of Bengal, to unite Bengali people after the partition of 1905. He also started Rakhi festival. He wrote song Amar Shonar Bangla Janagaramana, which is national anthem of two countries, India and Bangladesh. He was also a social reformer. He wrote on various social issues. He wrote poems on social issues like Sacred Touch for Harijan and Chandalika, also for Tushan in Untouchability. He wrote stories like Chokir Bali, Man Bhanj, Aparchit. Chokir Bali, story of a widow and child marriage. His other works, also famously known as Gitanjali, Ghare Bere, Gora, Mansi, Balaka, and Sonar Tori. His famous song, we all know, Ikla Chadore. He, for his contribution, is known as Kavi Guru, Tagore and Gandhi. Now, as we all know, Tagore and Gandhi were good friends. One called other, one called other the Mahatma, and Mahatma Gandhi called him Gurudev. Although they were good friends, they had some differences on key issues. For example, Tagore sharply criticized Gandhi after he blamed prevalence of untouchability for massive earthquake in Bihar. Tiger renounced his imperialism. Tiger renounced British imperialism, and yet he did not fully support or agree with Gandhi's non-cooperation movement. Awards in 1913, Tagore got the Nobel Peace Prize. By this, he became first non-European Nobel laureate to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. He got knighthood by Lord Hardinge in 1915, which was renounced in 1990. Relevance of Tagore today: Tagore's idea of nationalism, humanism, internationalism, and divinity stays alive and relevant. We all know the poem by Tagore. What's the name of poem? Something where the mind is without fear and heads are held high. We had a question in 2021 on Mandapalli in Andhra Pradesh. What did Tagore do in Mandapalli? Tagore translated a national anthem from Bengali to English here. World history. So we see Israel-Palestine issue. This also will come in GS2, but we'll see here. If it comes there we'll see it there too. Israel-Palestine issue. UN commemorated the mass displacement of Palestinians known as Nabka for the first time in history. Till today, UN didn't comment or didn't recognize the mass displacement of Palestinians. What is Nabka? Nabka is mass displacement and exodus of Palestinians that occurred in 1948 when Israel was established. How was Israel established and why were Palestinians displaced? Palestinians primarily displaced as a result of establishment of Israel. Yeah, we all know that. And this displacement occurred after Arab-Israel war. So let's see the history or timeline of the Palestinian issue. In early 20th century, Arabs and Jews both claimed historical and ancestral connection to the land of Palestine. In 1917, during the World War, or At the end of World War One, there was a Balfour Declaration expressing support to Jewish national home in Palestine. Till then, Arabs used to live there, as history says. So, 1947 UN proposes a partition plan recommending separate Jewish and Arab states in Palestine. 1948 Israel declares its independence on its own, leading to Arab-Israel war. The 1968 60 days war takes place between all the countries on opposite side and Israel on one side. All the countries containing West Bank, Jerusalem, Gaza Strip, Sinai Peninsula. No, not all the countries. Yes, Israel on one side and many other countries like Egypt. Egypt, I think Saudi was there. UAE, if I'm correct. Search and tell me. 1993 Oslo Accords were signed, establishing framework for peace negotiation between Israel and Palestinian Authority. Current situation: Israel occupies West Bank and East Jerusalem, and construction of Israeli settlements and separation barriers impacting Palestinian territory. So Israel is constructing places, homes, houses there in Palestinian territory. This, let's see it closely. This is Gaza Strip. This is Jerusalem, West Bank. This is Golan Height. Israel is bordered by which countries? Syria, Jordan, there Lebanon from north side, Egypt from east, southwest side. Israel touches two seas. This is Red Sea, Red Sea, and this is Mediterranean Sea. Yes, bordered by Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. So, status of Palestinian refugees. Status of Palestinian refugees remains a significant and unresolved issue. According to UN Relief Work and Agency for Palestinian Refugees, there are approximately 6 million registered Palestinian refugees. Many of them continue to live in refugee camps in West Bank, Gaza Strip, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. Two-state solution. There was also a question in UPSC some time ago regarding two-state solution is always seen in news regarding which countries, and answer was Israel. There were various peace talk initiatives like Camp David Summit in 2000 and a police conference in 2007. In 2020, UAE and Bahrain signed normalization agreement with Israel. What was the name of this accord? UAE signed with Israel some accord. What's the name of that accord? Abraham Accord. Views of India. India views India's views have changed through the time. India first used to support Palestinian cause and recognize PLO, but now India has adopted a more balanced approach and has supported two-state solution, which is also case for India and Pakistan also. See, also question of Golan Height came once, and Golan Height is obviously in Middle East. Let's go to society erosion of traditional Indian family system. So, when a question comes in society, what do we write? First of all, we should know definition of family. Family is a social unit consisting of individuals who are related by blood, marriage, or adoption. Blood, marriage, or adoption. It is fundamental institution in society. We share our common experiences, values, and care responsibilities. What is meaning of traditional Indian family? Traditional Indian family refers to prevailing family structure and dynamics that have been historically and culturally prevalent in Indian society. It typically follows a patriarchal system where father or eldest male holds authority and decision making power within the family. Importance of family. Family provides emotional support, it provides socialization. Children learn the first socializing values from their family. Identity formation is done through family. Intergenerational bonding is done through multiple generations are connected in one family. Some places there are foster family system where they try to develop intergenerational relationship of orphan people. Moral and ethical development. India obviously has value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, whole world is our family. Kutumba or family has traditionally acquired primacy in human interpersonal social relationships. Challenges: changing gender role, generational gap, urbanization and mobility, influence on technology, emphasis on individualism. So, changing gender role, women's role are changed. Women are nowadays seeking job outside, and the career and family balance is not possible for only women to do. Generational gap, yes, or there is a generational gap in lifestyle, values, beliefs. Younger member differ far more than elder member. There, there is also urbanization, which leads to low space. Many people seek good opportunities in urban areas for education and move away from their extended family, leading to decreased close-knit family support network. Influence of technology, increased screen time, virtual interaction, sense of togetherness is diminishing. Excessive emphasis on individualism. For example, candid and heart-to-heart dialogues between her husband and wife are becoming rare. They have become too formal and superficial. Excessive formalization. What is excessive formalization? From birthdays to weddings and to housewarming, we have formalized everything. Like this thing should be done this way, or some caterer, or somebody gives you a well-cooked information or well-cooked strategy, and that's done the same way. This is also called crisis of authenticity for our interpersonal feeling. Cultural or social change. Cultural and social changes such as globalization, exposure to diverse perspective can challenge traditional family norms and values. Balancing work and family, that's also a challenge. Ways of reviving India's traditional family system. First one is promote intergenerational bonding, strengthen communication and dialogue between generation, each family member, value traditional values and customs to encourage preservation of traditional values, customs and cultural practices within family and ensure that they are passed down to younger generation. Foster mutual care and support, balance individualism and collectivism, embrace modern technology and responsibly, promote gender equality and empowerment. Conclusion. How do we conclude it? We say that Indian traditional family system holds immense value and significance in providing emotional support, socialization, and identity formation, and a sense of belonging. Reviving and nurturing the traditional family system can contribute to well-being of individual, the cohesion of society, and in preservation of cultural heritage. So let's revise one more time. What is family? Close knit of individual connected by blood, marriage, or adoption. It is fundamental institution in society. Yes. Importance of society provides emotional support, provides socialization, identity formation, intergenerational bonding, moral and ethical dependence. Also educational guidance, financial support that are secondary priorities. Challenges faced these days: changing gender role, generational gap, urbanization and mobility, influence on technology. Urbanization mobility में migration भी आ जाएगा. Migration is a easy word to use in answer. Urbanization, mobility, and migration for good opportunities. Excessive emphasis on individualism. Excessive formation or crisis of authenticity, cultural and social changes. Balancing of work and family. How to revive this or way forward? Promote intergenerational bonding, strengthen communication and dialogue, value traditional values and customs, foster mutual care and support, balance individualism and collectivism. See, here it was excessive emphasis on individualism. Here we have provided support solution as balance individualism, collectivism. Then comes embrace modern technology responsibly, promote gender equality and empowerment. Next one is battle to end child marriage. UNICEF gave its report that multiple crises are threatening to reverse hard-earned gain in declining child marriage. Child marriage. Child marriage refers to any formal marriage or formal union between child under age of 18 and 21. 18 for female and 21 for males. Most child marriages involve girls, obviously. In India too. Worldwide, there are 640 million girls and women alive today were married in childhood, and around 12 million girls get married per year who are underage. Child marriages have declined from 19% to 21% to 19% in India. However, global reduction would have to be 20 times faster to meet Sustainable Development Goal to 5.3 of ending child marriages by 2030. Status of India still account for one third of global total. India's marriages rate is 21% as per NHFS 5, and as per UNICEF, it has declined from 21 to 19%. Eight states have a higher prevalence of child marriage than national average. West Bengal, Bihar, and Tripura top the list. More than 40% of women aged 20 to 24 married below 18. Most affected region South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. South Asia is most affected as we see 45% of child marriages are done taken place here, and Sub-Saharan Africa only 20%. That's not only, but less compared to South Asia. Highlights of UNICEF finding. World is by polycrisis. Polycrisis cluster of related global risk with compounding effects such as overall impact exceeding to sum of each part. Like me using some plastic material. Plastic plastic leads to plastic leads to dumping in sea, which leads to global warming or sea pollution or death of coral, etc. That's called polycrisis. Many crises are result of compounding effect. Compounding effect of one such crisis. Health and economic crisis. Where was I? Yes, health and economic crisis, escalating armed conflict, climate change shock, and ongoing impact of COVID-19. Girls living in fragile settings are twice as likely to become childbed. Child marriage. Factor driving child marriage. Physical and mental maturity for marriage. Social norms and pressure, fear of insecurity, relaxed law, family honor, preference for younger brides. Immediate and lifelong consequences for girls. Less likely to remain in school, difficult for girls to access healthcare, social services, and community support. Increased risk for early pregnancy can also isolate girls from family. Laws that prevent child marriage. First one is Prevention of Child Marriage Act 2006, and the next one POSCO Prevention of Child from Sexual Offences Act, POXO Act 2021. Next is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Kanya Shri Prakalpa of West Bengal. You can use this as an example in GS2, GS1, National Plan for Children, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Way ahead. The solution lies in empowering girls, creating proper public infrastructure, and addressing societal norms. At Gram Panchayat level, ensuring the child protection communities and child marriages prohibition officer are doing a job and activating community support group. Activating of community support group. Best practices. Odisha has now over 12,000 child marriages free village. That's a lot. Conclusion. It is possible to end child marriage, which requires unwavering support for vulnerable girls and families. The focus should be on keeping girls in school and making sure they have economic opportunities. How prosperity fuels dowry demand in India. Dowry. Researchers examined more than 74,000 marriages in India between 1930 to 1990. So in this research, they have found some things. Let's see what did they find. Economic growth perpetuates and boosts practices of dowry payment in India. As men gain better education and higher quality jobs, dowry amount increases. Dowry payment decreases as women receive education in India. Promoting women education and increasing their participation in workforce can potentially help reduce the prevalence of dowry. Promoting women education can help. Dowry payment decreases when women receive education. Family refusing to pay dowry may end up with lower quality of homes or compromising with the groom condition. No correlation between caste-based factor. The dowry is prevalent in all the caste groups. Status of marriages in India. Most marriages are still arranged. 90% of marriages studied until 1999 involve dowry. All marriages in India are monogamous. Less than 1% end in divorce. which rate the rate has increased. Obviously, the survey was still until 1999. Parents will play an important role in choosing the role of bride and groom. Choosing the bride and groom. Over 90% of couples live in husband's family after marriage. More than 85% of women marry someone from outside their family. What is dowry system? Dowry system. Yes, you need to learn this definition to write for GS1 if the question comes. Obviously, dowry system in India refers to bride's family giving to bridegroom his parents or relatives a conditional as a condition of marriage. Bride's family giving material material gifts. Material gifts is a good word. Consequences of prevalence of dowry in India: financial burden, abuse of women, norms like patriarchal norms are reinforced, breakdown of marriage, many dowry-related disputes occur and lead to death in case of dowry, suicide and bride burning due to dowry disputes. Financial dependence of women will be prevalent, inequality is perpetuated, reinforcement of harmful stereotypes. Causes and prevalence of dowry: patriarchal society, economic factor, social pressure and status, gender inequality, cultural and traditional beliefs, fear of social stigma, lack of legal enforcement, lack of education and awareness, desire for material gains, fear and family pressure. Provision to combat prevalence of dowry system in India. Legal provisions like Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, 498 legal section 498A of legal IPC. Mandatory requirement is there to report dowry related offence to the police or concerned authority. Institutional provisions like family welfare committee, a Supreme Court observation in case of Vishaka guidelines versus state of Rajasthan. Supreme Court has requested Law Commission of India to take fresh look to bring more teeth to dowry law. A Supreme Court has held recently that dowry death can be presumed if wife was harassed mentally and physically. Government schemes like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Ujjwala Yojana, One Stop Center of Sakhi, National Service Scheme are all helping in combating dowry. NGOs like Shakti Vahini Breakthrough, Maitri Women Legal Initiative are also contributing to anti-dowry campaign. Ethical aspects of dowry in India: violation of human rights, gender inequality, and commodification of women is there. Dowry is considered unethical as it treats women as commodity. Dowry perpetuates gender discrimination. It infringes upon principle of equality, dignity, and autonomy. The practice goes against fundamental value of respect, fairness, and justice. Conclusion: educating daughters is a valuable gift that empowers them. Local communities should be engaged through women right and education program. Later, insufficient representation of women in workforce in India. Women in workforce is major obstacle to realize the potential of developed India. Significance of more women in workforce. क्या होगा अगर ज़्यादा लड़कियाँ आ जाए? They say that India could add 550 billion to its GDP if just 10% of female are increased. 10% more female are there in workforce. This is said by McKinsey report. McKinsey report says 550 billion, 10% to GDP. What does the data say? Data say that female participation rate in India's labor force has consistently fallen from peak in 2000 to low in 2018. ये 2000 में 31% था, यहाँ पे 21% हो गया, which has decreased a lot. Reason for this: India is still patriarchal society. Only 32% of women work after they get married. That too mostly in agriculture sector, safety concern, insufficient formal wage employment opportunity. Men and women get different wages, and less than 20% of women employees account for less than 25% of India's manufacturing sector. Concentration in low non-productive jobs, lack of opportunity for women returning to their careers, and increase in family income. I can't zoom in here. Huh. Women's work status. Let's see this. She is either paid worker or unpaid worker. If unpaid worker, then yes, she is in micro, meso, or macro works. Steps taken. New skill development ministry and has started. Also, National Career Service Project was started to provide online job. Maternity Benefit Amendment Act was brought into existence in 2017, and advisory to states under Factories Act for permitting women workers in the night shift with adequate safety measures. Best practices. TVS offers schemes for women who are returning to their career after a break. Gabriel India gives on-site accommodation, subsidized food and training program for women. We ahead. A policy framework should be made. Specific constraint should be made aware of. Gender responsive policies should be developed. Goal is not merely to increase female labor force participation, but to provide opportunities for decent work and contribute to economic empowerment of women. Conclusion. Let's see how we conclude. Women's labor force participation and access to decent work are important and a necessary element of an inclusive and sustainable development process. Sexual harassment in sports. I won't go into detail of the issue prevalent in market today, prevalent on internet today. We'll see what is given according to this magazine. Common issues faced by women: lack of funding and support, gender-based discrimination, sexual harassment and abuse, lack of media coverage, decreased quality of training, stereotyping and objectification, social attitudes and disfigurement, ethical issues. Funding में क्या है? Women's soccer team has won more titles than men, but has been paid less. Recently, BCCI did opposite of this. दूसरे पेज पे आ गया. BCCI pays men and women equal fees for their matches. Cricket matches. Gender-based discrimination. India's sport is characterized by a dangerous combination of political nexus and male domination. Obviously, we have seen the recent case. Sexual harassment and abuse. Tennis player Ruchika Grihotra from 1990 dared to raise her voice against President of Tennis Federation. Chinese tennis player Pyong Choi accused former Chinese Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli of sexual assault. Also, you can see USA gymnastics sexual abuse scandal of 2016. The scandal. Search on the internet. Lack of media coverage, decreased quality of training, stereotyping, social attitude and disfigurement, ethical issues like abuse of power, violation of trust, infringement of human rights, creation of hostile and unsafe environment. Steps needed: educational awareness among women. International Olympic Committee has started program for educational resources on range of topics including athlete safeguard. Policy and guidelines development. Sports Authority of India has issued mandatory guidelines to include female coach to accompany athletes during travel. Reporting and complaint mechanism. Sexual harassment electronic boxes are kept at places. Online portal is also made. Assess accountability and enforcement through National Human Rights Commission. Support and empowerment through various initiatives like Sports India, Youth Affairs and Khelo India scheme. POSH guideline. POSH Act of 2013. Let's see this. कहाँ है? डायरेक्टली ऐसे देखेंगे. POSH Act किस लिए बना था? To punish abusers of physical contact and advances, demand for sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, any other unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct against females. in offices, or any other places. Obligation: every employer is required to constitute internal complaint committee. Mm, yes, committee similar to that of civil court. It needs minimum four members. At least half of them should be women, and one external member, preferably from NGO. Time: within 3 months, the complaint should be made. ICC, at the request of agreement, may allow matters to be settled through conciliation, but without monetary settlement. Punishment: a fine up to 50,000, and if non-complied. Compensation: is determined based on five aspects: suffering and emotional distress caused to women, loss of career opportunities, her medical expenses, income and financial status of respondent, feasibility of such payment. Domestic workers are protected under this act also. What is internal complaints committee? IC's first port of call for any grievances under POSH. It has to be minimum four member and half of them to be women, external member of NGO, etc. etc. हम लोगों ने देखा ये पीछे. Status of various federation of ICC. Various federation on ICC. These many federation have created no ICC. This federation have no only three members. These have no external member. So gymnastic, table tennis, handball, wrestling, volleyball, they have no ICC. Judo, squash racket, billiards and snookers federation, only three members. Badminton Association, Archery Association, Basketball, and Indian Triathlon Federation has no external member. To address issue faced by women in sport, it is required to have concerted efforts from various stakeholders, including government, sports organization, and civil society. Issues with protection of women from sexual harassment. POSH Act. Let's see key issue: uncertainty on implementation, reluctance to implement, insensitive comments by various people or politicians or men in power, non-compliance in forming ICC, fear of stepping out from homes, which is prevalent in women due to various type of harassment or abuses. Inquiry process is done many times in a hurry. Union states and duties have been directed by Supreme Court recommendation to undertake time-bound exercise to verify whether ministries, department, and government had constituted ICC. These bodies were ordered to publish details in their respective committees on their website. Previously, NCW had asked all states to ensure that coaching centers and educational institutes have strictly enforced POSH guidelines. This one, there was a question once in mains. So, women in post-independent India have excelled in various fields. The social attitude towards women and feminist movement have been patriarchal. Apart from women education and women empowerment schemes, what interventions can help change this milieu? Migration away from metros to towards small towns. Migration in India. International Organization of Migration has given some findings. It has told that migration can be either voluntary or forced movement as a consequences of increased magnitude of frequency of disaster, economic challenges, extreme poverty, and conflict situations. There are push factors and pull factors. Push factors means problems in the place where we reside, and pull factors means opportunities at places where we are moving. Migration, according to 2011 census, 45 crores were migrated, 37%, which is the 37% of country's population. Migration report for migration through economic survey 2016. Migration is from relatively less developed states to relatively more developed state. Large recipient regions include Delhi. Delhi accounted for half of migration in 2015 to 16. Uttar Pradesh and Bihar combined accounted for half of total out migrants. Indian Migration Report 2020. Major reason is marriage and that too of female migration. Major reason for male is search of employment. Migration and its impact on cities. According to World Economic Forum report, smaller cities are rapidly growing but struggling to cope with infrastructure and demands due to declining civic revenue resources. Now, there is a trend going on of reverse migration or out migration. That is migration from large cities to small cities. Let's see the reason. Development of remote and hybrid work model, like work from home, where we can work from anywhere. Cost saving, due to work from home, there is a lot of cost saving when living at our own place or our own cities in small cities. There is talented pool. Many and NGOs, many MNCs are going to small cities to explore or exploit the talent pool from there. High retention rates. Employees who prefer to stay at home maintain their job for a longer time. Availability of office space and amenities. When employees work from home, the infrastructure spending is less. Smaller cities like Coimbatore offer quality of office space. Rise of co-working spaces in small cities counter magnet dynamics. Surat and Pune have started to counter magnet region like Mumbai. We had a question based on migration. What is main social economic implications arising out of development of IT industries in major cities in India? Discuss the changes in trends of labor migration within India and outside in last 4 decades. So, Union Ministry for Housing and Urban Affairs (MoHUA) has extended the deadline of Smart City Mission from 2023 to 2024 June. ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं इसमें पढ़ने जैसा, बट ये स्मार्ट सिटीज़ मिशन के बारे में जानते हैं कि सेंट्रल स्पॉन्सर्ड स्कीम थी ये 25 जून 2015 को आई हुई. 100 सिटी सेलेक्ट करेंगे, इसमें से टू थर्ड सिटीज़ और 66 cities are small and implementing two-third projects. So the mission aims to drive economic growth, improve quality of life, focus on sustainable and inclusive development. 6 fundamental principles है इस मिशन के, देख लेंगे कौन से. Community at core, more from less, cooperative and competitive federalism, integration, innovation, sustainability, technology as a means, not goal, and convergence. Convergence, yes. देखा? Yeah. What kind of projects? Laying water pipeline, constructing STP sewage treatment plant, in addition to some PPP infrastructure like common mobility card, multimodal transport hub, public bike sharing are included. All 100 cities have also constructed integrated command and control center. What is status of project? This is irrelevant information according to me. According to important geophysical phenomena, El Nino, और इसके बाद में बचे साइक्लोन. Deep ocean current in Antarctica are slowing down, and some global reports. So El Nino, as we all know, according to the climate cycles, El Nino affects droughts in India and monsoons in India. According to WMO, world should prepare for development of El Nino, which is often associated with heat and drought. So this is the basic mechanism how El Nino takes place. This is static part I won't be taking here, but I'll take some parts. La Nina is also included. El Nino plus La Nina comes under ENSO, El Nino seasonal oscillation. Circulation. So into the 2006, according to scientists, was the warmest year on record because of confluence of very powerful El Nino events and global warming. Typical impacts of El Nino include increased rainfall, severe droughts, warm waters, and it can also fuel hurricanes. Potential due to El Nino events is new spike in global heating, 50-50 chance of global temperature rapidly increasing above 1.5 degrees Celsius. Likely back to India. El Nino is normally El Nino is good for northeast monsoon, but bad for southwest monsoon. नॉर्थ ईस्ट मानसून एंड साउथ ईस्ट मानसून, एक बार मानसून जाएगा दूसरा आएगा। सो साउथ वेस्ट वाला ज़्यादा टाइम का पहले होगा, थोड़ा सा जून टू सितंबर, एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट वाला आधे टाइम का अक्टूबर टू दिसंबर। द मानसून सीजन is crucial for India's agriculture. Lifeline of 60% depends on it. Challenges ahead for India. IMD forecast a normal monsoon 96%. ये कुछ काम का नहीं, इसलिए कट कर दिया था मैंने. As usual, cold start to summer could delay the start of monsoon season way ahead. Early warning for all initiative was formally launched at COP27 meeting at Sharm el Sheikh. Initiative calls for whole world to be covered by an early warning system by end of 2010 season. Cyclones. How are cyclones formed? Cyclones recently cyclone is named as Mocha, pronounced Mocha, suggested by Yemen after the Red Port city. Cyclones are formed by low pressure system as the air below the as the air on the surface gets heated, it rises above, and other air from side converges to create a low pressure system. As warm air as air warms over hotter region, it ascends in the depression or low pressure situation. The air is rising and blows in anti-clockwise direction. This is because of Coriolis effect. Favorable condition: warm seas present ripe condition for development and strengthening of cyclones. Effects: as warm air rises and cools, water vapor condenses to form clouds. Most vulnerable region: weather system formed over Bay of Bengal in the peak of summer in May are among the strongest in North Indian Ocean region. How are cyclones named? Cyclones are named by RMSCs, RSMCs, Regional Specialized Meteorological Centers, and Tropical Cyclone Warning Center, TCWC. There are 6 RSMCs and 5 TCWC. And IMD, which is one of the RSMC, provides the name for cyclone. WMO is SCAP. WMO, World Meteorological Organization, ESCAP means UN's Economic and Social Commission for Asia and Pacific. Deep ocean currents in Antarctica are slowing. Overturning circulation has slowed by almost a third, that is 30%, and deep oxygen levels are declining. Overturning circulation. What does overturning circulation means? Overturning circulation refers to a global network of ocean currents that redistribute heat, carbon, and nutrients. They play a crucial role in regulating Earth's climate, maintaining oxygen level, and shaping ocean current. Why are overturning circulation slowing? Overturning circulations are slowing due to melting Antarctic ice, which freshens surface water and reduces their density. Impact of slowing. This can lead to reduced oxygen level in deep ocean, affecting marine organisms, disrupt base of food chain, as 3/4 of global phytoplanktons are in southern ocean. Intensifies global warming and contribute to rising sea level. About deep water circulation. Deep water circulation refers to movement of water in deep ocean, driven by density difference caused by temperature and salinity formation. अब कैसे फॉर्म होती है? In polar region, sea ice formation causes surrounding sea water to become saltier and denser, leading to shrinking. And the process repeats. Sea ice formation causes surrounding sea water to become saltier and denser. This leads to shrinking. The process repeats as surface water is pulled into replace sinking water. This causes pattern known as thermal circulation. इसका significance है heat distribution, carbon dioxide control, shapes ocean water current circulation pattern globally, affects sea level by redistributing heat and influencing thermal expansion. Deep water circulation in Indian Ocean. Indian Ocean does not produce its own deep water. It receives it from other sources like North Atlantic and Antarctic. बचे reports and indices ये next time then.